Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. So it looks like Janelle Eason has made the decision to bring her podcast back, and I'm wondering if it's because her workout line has been canceled. Now, we all know that Janelle, she struggles with any business venture that she puts out there that she wants to do. It usually gets canceled before it even starts. Her Girl Crap podcast, before it started, it was canceled. She was fired. Her workout line, her cosmetic line didn't go anywhere really. All the sponsorships that she gets, they get pretty quickly. You know, they drop her due to her history with things. And I talked about this recently. Like, is it too much? Are people doing too much? Interfering with her not being able to make an income for her children. And, you know, I was even like, I think maybe it's a little too much. But then, like, the very next day, or that day, the day that she was dropped by her workout line, that evening we found out David Eason had been arrested, or he got arrested that night at like 10 p.m., got out at like 2 the next morning. So then I was like, well, you know, it's things like this. It's like, this is why so many people struggle with seeing a change in Janelle, because like David is constantly messing up as well. Like, he's been charged with like driving reckless, driving under suspension, driving while intoxicated. Those things are not only putting him at risk, but other people on the roads at risk. And then it makes you wonder, if he's been pulled over that many times with like alcohol in the car, does he drink and drive with the children in the vehicle? Which once again, it makes you wonder if those children are in a safe environment. And I think that's where so much frustration comes from. It's like, people want Janelle to choose her children over David. So they keep doing this, hoping like, if you leave David, maybe we'll stop. I've read a lot of comments, and this is kind of the gist of what I get. A lot of people just want to see her leave David, put her kids first, and then they'll kind of leave it alone maybe. But as long as she's got David there, I think people are going to continue to do this. So her workout line was canceled, and now she's announcing that she's going to bring back her podcast, as well as David will be starting his own. So we're going to talk about this a little bit. She announced earlier this week that she is hoping to bring back the Janelle Evans podcast, the podcast that she abandoned after only 2 episodes this summer. Also, she says that her husband David wants to start a podcast as well. She spoke to The Sun, and she said that David plans to launch his own podcast, and that both David's new podcast and her podcast will be recorded once she completes her She Shed. That's where they're going to set up, and that's where they're going to record the podcast. She said that David wants to do a podcast now with his friends. She is unsure of what they will talk about, what the topics will be, but she says that's what's going to happen with David. He's going to start a podcast. He's going to have his friends on. I feel like she's going to be on his podcast as well sometimes. And I feel like he will probably be on hers as well, because we do know the only 2 episodes she had, David was on the last one, I do believe, or possibly on both of them. I didn't watch them. I didn't listen. But I did read the Ashley's articles where she discussed them. And we do know for sure that David was on the last one. She said once they have everything set up, they're going to be using the shed for their podcast. In her interview with The Sun, she said she's getting her She Shed all spruced up so they can both use it for podcasting. She said, I want a set spot. I didn't want to rent any office space when I have that space. It's super easy just to walk outside, to do it with no kids yelling in the background. Something that's just my space for work. I feel you there, girl. Janelle and David, they have been documenting the She Shed makeover on their social media accounts for a while now. But Janelle says it's still not ready to be used. She said, I have to rewire the outside of my shed and then inside. We finally got the sheetrock up and painted and got trim. Once it's done, we'll be ready to get back up and going again. Now, when it comes to work, I feel like Janelle probably has a lot of time on her hands. I'm looking at her YouTube channel. It looks like she puts like 1 video a week up. Now, she can make decent money on this YouTube channel if she put up more content. Even with the 1 video per week, which totals like 4 videos per month, she puts up more shorts, like the YouTube shorts, which I do believe you can still make money off of. The YouTube shorts, it seems like she puts up, you know, more of them, but still not a lot. And her Social Blade says that she's going to make almost $9,000 for the month of November. So even though, you know, she's not on Team Mom, even though all her business ventures have gotten canceled, she still makes a, in my opinion, what I think is a decent income from YouTube. But if she put up more content, she can make more money. But I do wonder if this is why she's bringing back the podcast in an effort to make more money. I would have to imagine when she was like in her prime on Teen Mom, she was bringing in way more than, you know, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 a month. I think probably when she got fired, it was almost close to $500,000 per season. So that's a lot of money that she's lost, that she's missing out on, that every time she tries to do something to make money, it gets canceled. You know, so that may be why she's trying to bring back the podcast. That may be why David's trying to start a podcast, so it could help them financially. And a podcast, I don't think that's anything that someone can stop for you. I'm not sure, but I think if you record a podcast, like, you could get it put up somewhere, and if people choose to listen, you know, you're going to earn something from it. If people choose not to listen, then you're not going to earn that much from it. But I don't think there's any way people can cancel her from having a podcast, right? So that may be why she's made the decision. You guys leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. I guess when you've tried to do a little bit of everything, you get these sponsorships, but the fans contact the people and you get dropped. You try to start, you know, the Girl Crap podcast, but you get dropped. You try to do the workout line, but you get dropped. I guess that's probably got to be tough to constantly be getting knocked down on your feet. So maybe this is why she went the route with like starting her very own podcast, because maybe there's nothing that anybody can do about it. I don't know. You guys leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. I saw this article on the Ashley's Reality Roundup. I will put a link in the description box below, but it really had me wondering if that's why she's bringing the podcast back, if it's because of, you know, financial purposes. You guys leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, will you guys listen to Janelle's podcast? Would you guys listen to David's podcast? Despite the fact that a lot of people don't like them, I do think they will have people that listen. And some may even be what I call like hate listeners, hate watchers. There will be people that listen just to see what kind of crazy stuff, you know, they talk about, if it's anything that a story can be made out of. So I think they're going to have some listeners. I don't know how many, but you let me know if you're going to be listening in the comment section below. Make sure you give this video a huge thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye, everyone.